I'm working on a project to recane a chair that's been in the family for many years.
We are taking on the redoing of a chair.
Originally, it was passed from my mother-in-law down to her daughter, my wife's sister. Then when she moved to a condominium, she passed the chair to us.
We've had the chair in our family for a long time, and I wanted to redo it and save it for my kids.
I've been doing this for, I'd say close to 50 years now.
I grew up on a dairy farm in Minnesota, and we did a lot of projects there. And then after college, I started working at Menards.
I have worked with Ross in the past. He is my son's father-in-law, and we've done several woodworking projects together. We built a little cabin in the backyard of Doug's house, and we've refinished the kitchen in Doug's house. It's important to keep this piece of furniture in the family and to keep it in such a shape that it'll be usable by Doug and his family. To start woodworking, you should familiarize yourself with tools and what each of the tools can do and what the limitations of each tool are.
Always the pliers, always a screwdriver. Project like this, you're gonna want like 3 different grits of sandpaper around you all the time, because there's always something that needs to be sanded smoother.
My goal is really quality. I want to do good quality work, and I want to teach my son to do the same level of quality that I do.
Worried about the wicker, how it's gonna, putting that back in there and making that work out correctly. Otherwise, it should stain and really easy.
The biggest obstacle that I see moving forward with working on this particular chair is, since it's the first time I've ever worked with rattan, I am going to learn as I go along. And so I'm hoping that what I've done the research on, in fact, will work. I had to buy a couple of special tools just to do this, because without the right tool, you cannot do the job correctly.
Sometimes it's harder to get a nice finish on something if it's hard to work with, or you never worked with it before, or you end up spending more money than you intended on doing it. Or I've definitely done some projects where I've had to redo them or completely start over from the beginning because a stain color doesn't work out right, or something doesn't go back together the way you took it apart.
Woodworking can be done either alone or it can be done in a team. And the size of the project really will dictate that. In a large project like when we built the shed, it was much easier having a team of Ross and myself and my son Douglas working on it. A smaller project like this can be done alone, but because it's fun to do with another person, it gives you something to do together. When I hit a standstill on a project, I take a breather. I step away from it for a day or maybe even a week, and I do some research on it. I talk to people that have done something similar. I talk to people in the trades to find out if they can help me.
We work with what you have. Otherwise, it's run down the street to the hardware store and see if they have the right thing that you need. But yeah, usually I just try to make it work with what I have. I have a lot of stuff around the garage here, so.
The best way to maintain focus is to keep your eye on the prize. What is the end piece going to look like? Sometimes it's not obvious where you want to be or how you're going to get there, but if you know what the end piece is going to look like, you can find the path to get there. For this wicker chair, I'm about 85 to 90% confident it's going to work. And if it doesn't, I'll just try again, because I want this to work. If I can't do it the first time, I'll get it on the second or third time.
You always look back and you always think like, I could have done that better, or I should have done that faster. I've definitely gone back through and then Googled something, and you find out that, there would have been a much easier way to do it or a much better product to do it with. But once it's done, you don't have to look back. It's over with. So.
If I'm successful in recaning the chair, we're going to pass it down to our son, Doug. The feeling you get from successfully finishing a woodworking project is one of elation. You feel like a success. Even if it's a small project, you get to see something finished. A lot of times if you work on large projects and you're just a part of a team doing it, you really don't see the whole thing at the end or as it goes through. But on woodworking, you see it from the beginning to the end.